too, so I guess I will.
Well, that's all right. He'll be over next. Get him over here. All right, ready? It's great to be back. Obviously, we're back out here on Nippert also. We hadn't been out here in a while, but watched a lot of the younger guys today. We got, what, 22, 23 new players that we've got to find out if they can help us this year. We've got to find out how good a shape we're in, and we've got to do a lot of teaching. So we'll do this for the next couple of days before we put pads on, and then we'll load the buses and go to higher ground on Saturday and start a little contact. But there's going to be a quarterback battle for the next couple of weeks. There's going to be a battle at a couple of the offensive line positions, battle in the secondary. We're going to have a lot of battles, and we're going to need that. We're going to need all kind of competition to try to get better. We got 4 weeks from tomorrow. We play our first game. It's not a long time. It seems like it is, but it'll go by quick. So looking forward to a couple more days of this and then getting on with business when we put pads on and try to get better and try to learn block and tackle and find out the 60 or 65 guys that are going to help us out of this 105 that's out here today.
When you talk about the new guys, would you say this is the most talented, at least skill positions, because the big guys obviously have to grow into it, but the most talented you brought in?
Yeah, I would say DBs and secondary. It's obviously, we got some height, we got speed, we got athletic ability. Now, not many of them know what they're doing, but that's reading your coach. We got a lot of work to do. You'll see every day if you come out here after practice, 15, 20 minutes after practice, just the young guys will stay out and go through some things to try to, keep up with the Joneses, so to speak. But they learn as much inside tonight. We'll go in and watch film for an hour and a half. And they'll learn as much from their film sessions because you can't get a lot of reps out here, but you got to take a mental rep with all the other guys that play in front of you at the same position. So as I just told them, you got to learn. You got to learn from everybody's mistakes and everybody's positive things that happen. And if they do that, they'll get better. But this is definitely a faster, more athletic group in the secondary and DBs that what we've had in. I tell you, we got 3 linebackers I've been really impressed with, and they're here to play, and we'll probably play all of them. And last year we had to play 10 freshmen because of necessity. This year it's going to be hard to get on the field as a freshman, but I think some of them will play.
You mentioned being back here in Denver. How important is that for you?
Well, there's several reasons. Number one, we get better film. Number two, we've got to play on this turf. This is totally different than what we've had out here. It's a lot softer. Guys will have to get used to it. We'll spend as much time out here as we can. Again, we'll go 3 days, and then we'll go to higher ground. We'll be out there 4, 5, 6 practices, then we'll come here and scrimmage, and then we'll come back the next week after another week of higher ground and scrimmage again. And when we come back, when school starts, then we'll spend almost every afternoon out here, at least half a practice. It's important that we get used to this turf because it is totally different than what we've had.
What do you need to see out of Gunner Kiel? I know it's been 1 day, but what are you looking for exactly?
Consistency. The thing about Gunner, he looks good, and then, we turn the ball over. You can't do that. We're not going to have turnovers this year. We're not going to have the stupid penalties. And we've got to get better on defense. I mean, that's the 3 main goals that we've got to have. We had a good offense last year, but we were our own worst enemy. We had a pretty good defense, but there were some things that we didn't adjust to, and with substitutes when they came in when we had injuries. We got to become more of a team. Last year we were offense and defense, and it was a good team camaraderie, but we didn't play well together as a team. We lost 4 games that we could have won in the last 3 or 4 minutes, so we need to turn that around.
You said a couple of weeks on the quarterback battle. Do you have a date or a certain week in mind when you want it to be decided?
Yeah, it's probably going to be at least through the second scrimmage, so that'd be 2 weeks from this Saturday. There might be some movement before then, and we're going to move them around first, second, third as we go through the next couple of weeks. But once we make a decision at the end of the second scrimmage, that'll be the quarterback we'll start with going into the first game. And so there's going to be a lot of competition and a lot of guys that are going to have to, compete and study. And, I like what I saw today, but really the competition doesn't start until we start getting quarterback pressure, when the D-line's able to rush with pads on, those type of things.
You've talked a lot about depth on defense being an issue. Are you where you finally want to be in terms of having a strong 2 deep and being ready?
We're a lot closer on defense. We're a lot more athletic. We've got more defensive linemen. In college football, you're never going to be as experienced, but you need a gradual drop off from 1, 2s, and 3s. You don't need the huge drop off that we've had. So hopefully, we'll see. Some of these younger guys going to play. We signed some junior college guys. We signed a couple of prep school guys that's a little bit older. Age helps, in Division I. Experience obviously helps. We got a lot of guys, older guys with a lot more confidence. And I told our older guys, I had a meeting with them yesterday, they're going to have to help the younger guys, especially the junior college guys that we're counting on playing. They've got to tutor them, they got to coach them, they got to talk to them, because they're going to get down because they're going to be behind. But it's all about the players helping them come to another level, not just the coaches.
How tough is it to teach defense and discipline? I mean, you need guys to get after it, but
yeah,
penalties were an issue.
Well, once we put on pads, and then we're going to have some things that we'll do for just mental mistakes. Now, you're going to block the wrong guy, you're going to do those things, but movement before the snap of the ball, not enough men on the line of scrimmage. The little things last year that you'd think that some of our older guys, it just seemed like we couldn't get it through to them. I mean, we were our own worst enemy when it came to tough situations and making mistakes. So we're not going to beat ourselves this year. Somebody's going to beat us. They're going to line up and beat us. And if we keep having problems with some guys, we just got to put somebody else in. And that helps too when you have depth, that you're able to really punish somebody by taking playing time away. And we haven't had that opportunity.
Is reps the only thing that can fix that type of thing?
Yeah, reps and in competition where they mentally know if I make a mistake, somebody else is going to be here and I'm going to have my helmet in my hand. So that, playing time is the worst type of punishment for kids on the college level. They want to play, and so you're able to, take that away from them, whether it's off the field problems or on the field problems. And so they came here to play. They want to be out there. College football is they get to play one position, and they don't get to play both sides of the ball. So they want those reps. They don't want that guy to come in front of them and play this behind them. But reps, competition is huge, and we're starting to have a lot more battles at each position.
The natural ability and athleticism from these guys that you said, even the young guys, have you seen, obviously not a ton of time to see, but does it change the pace of practice, you think? Yeah,
it'll change the pace. And again, I think that, it's just watching today, I've watched some of the older guys coaching, and they better not coach too hard because we've got some pretty good guys behind them. But, that's what it's all about. Everybody's got to, and it's a team sport. Everybody's got to pull their weight, but everybody's got to help each other too. And we're going to look at a lot of players in our scrimmages coming up, and we just got to find six. We've had probably between 45 and 50 guys that we felt play Division I. Hopefully this year we've got 60 to 65 guys that can play and give us more depth and hopefully a little bit more experience.
How does your secondary shape up now? I know that was a huge problem last year, mainly because of injuries. Who do you see back there now?
Well, Alex Thomas is going to be, I think, he's growing up. You have to grow up at cornerback position. When you're out at corner and you're lined up out there covering a guy, you're 5'8", 5'9", and like the last game we played here, Tulsa had a guy that was like 6'6", and we were bouncing off of him like BBs. But you got to have confidence that you can cover a guy like that. You're going to be undersized most of the time, and then you got to be able to have confidence to run with a guy or tackle a guy in the open field. We should be better. We got Zach Edwards back in the secondary. We got Mike Tyson, obviously, he's back. He's played a lot. Grant Coleman's played a lot. I think we're going to have some depth. We just got to keep them healthy. And it's just been one of our problems back there. It seems like that's just been the area that's just been nipping at us for the last few years. Hopefully, of course, in this league, we're going to see a lot of spread offenses. So we need experienced corners. We don't need to be playing these freshmen coming in like we had to play last year.
So you feel you got depth and more experience back.
Yeah, well, they've all played, and of course the guys that played last year had to play. Alex Thomas had to play. Several of them had to play just by necessity because, when we got Grant hurt and then we got Whitty hurt, then the guys that were counting on playing 10 plays had to play 40 or 50, and so that hurt us last year. Hopefully it'll help us this year with guys learning experience.
Thank y'all. Let's do this again tomorrow.
Thank you very much.